You've got to be Cameo in Superman. What do you think you want to be like your little line?
It's a hard one because I feel like I'll be the falafel guy at the store.
Oh man,
I want to be hurting some sort of way. Like,
Wait,
me like
what?
falling from a building or something.
You want Superman to save you?
No.
Oh.
It'd be like, oh shit, I missed him.
Oh
like
shit.
one of those moments. Like I want one of those funny
damn.
moments. Yeah. Damn, I missed him.
You know what I just realized? Like recently, I realized that you're a huge fan of Superman. Mm-hmm. Like, when did you fall in love with Superman?
I got my first comic book. Well, actually, I've loved Superman from like when I was 3-4 years old.
Yeah.
My uncle was an artist as well.
Oh, sick.
So he was like really big into like DC and like Marvel.
Yeah.
And then he gave me my first comic books, which was John Barnes' Man of Steel. It's like a 6-part series in 1991.
Yeah.
And this was just a year before 92, where they were just going to kill Superman off.
Really?
Yeah, so I just got into Superman in the comics, and I was like, oh man, 92 came, and I was like, they're going to kill him off. Why?
Yeah.
Like, he's such a great character. And then during that period, 11, 12, I consumed so much Superman comics. I've got like, my uncle had like 3,000 comic books, all from like the 70s,
wow.
like late 60s all the way to like early 90s.
Yeah.
But the two that John Barnes series really captured Clark and Superman as a human being.
Yeah.
And why he's so good and why he's so kind.
Yeah.
And you can blatantly tell where James Gunn got his inspiration from.
Okay.
And then X-Men, it was the Genesis saga that came out in 1992 as well, which was Jim Lee. And I've never felt so connected to these characters.
Yeah.
In a comic book, and I was like it's giving me goosebumps now, bro.
Yeah.
I remember my uncle passing me that comic book. He goes like, read these 4 issues, let me know what you think. And I was like, he knew at the time I was at school, I felt out of place, I didn't have many friends.
Yeah.
And he goes, read these, and you'll probably find something in them that you'll relate to.
Yeah.
And bro, like, they're outsiders. They're us.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we're mutants. That's how I saw it.
Okay.
And it was like shit that connected on me on such a level. And Jubilee's journey as well, you know, just trying to find her place. She's a teenager. She's lost. She don't know what to do. Her parents don't understand the power she's got.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Logan, bro, shit. When I saw Wolverine in that comic book, when I fell in love with Wolverine, he had the brown and orange suit.
Okay.
And then I went back to see, oh, right, he had this bright yellow top and the rest of it. And then I learned more about, I fell in love with comics. But Superman was the original OG.
Yeah.
That was like my knowledge and artwork and my styles. And like I learned about the writers and the creatives that were working behind it. And then, you know, it led me to this massive world of like books, bro. Like me and Michael Adji.
Yeah.
That's
Michael Adji. He's
a cosplayer, but he's an actor as well.
Yeah.
He's usually at the screening as well. They call him main stage Adji sometimes. He did Mr. Terrific at Superman.
Yeah.
And
he did Mr. Terrific at Superman.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, bro, he smashed it. He's a good cosplayer, bro.
Yeah.
And I met Michael at, I think it was Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And he puts his costumes together, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this guy, like, what the fuck? His cape was like moving and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, bro, how the
Just
fuck?
laughing around.
And it was so cool. Like, and I was just admiring his outfit. And then I was like, bro, like, I used to do Doctor Strange 15 years ago when MCM Comic Con started in like a fucking hotel room in Russell Square, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was like a conference lobby.
Yeah.
And it was like a few stands and the rest of it. And people used to come cosplay. And I used to do Doctor Strange. So I was like, to see somebody else, different tone, embracing this character and the effort he put into it. Then later on I find out this guy's an actor, he's a boxer, and I got him on a show and we started talking, and then we broke down like our mental healths as well in there. And then, you know, 3 years later they made a movie, bro.
Yeah.
Which is called Punching Bag, which Rob did.
Yeah, I do know Punching Bag,
look at that, man. What can a conversation that can spark something off. And I was actually like, bro, how the fuck you do that cape, bro? Because that looks like I would wear that on the road, just normal, bro. Because it was so good. He had wires in it, bro. So when he was walking around, it was just floating, and I was like, bro, you got that memory cloth from Batman or something, bro.
Yeah, the creativity of a cosplayer is
so good.
Is so good.
And yeah, it kind of just it actually grew from there. Like I met Michael, and his comic book knowledge is like far beyond mine. But it always comes back to the OG, man. Superman is like the immigrant narrative story, bro.
Oh, explain that.
Because he's coming from another planet, you know, and he's come here, and all he wants to do is be good, but he's still an outsider. He just wants to be a part of us as well. I mean, it's a great immigrant story, bro. Oh, and then it gets biblical, bro. You're talking about Moses.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I remember there was with the Zack Snyder one. There was like elements of him being like Jesus. Like hovering around.
If you go back into the comic books, I mean, they're stealing all biblical stuff in there, bro. And I've read the Torah, Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, the Quran, and you see all of these elements. Like you're like, they've just taken it out of context and made something creative out of it. You know, it is based on Moses, bro. Those two Jewish guys, Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, when they created this character, the Second World War was happening, bro, man. They were getting annihilated, and then, you know, they've come over to the States to start a whole new life, and, you know, they've used themselves in that. But then they've used Moses' story as well to bring some hope to this character. To say, look, there's a guy coming from another planet that is like he just wants to be this good guy to make everybody all get along. There's no differences there. But Superman's complicated, not just as Clark Kent, but because how strong can somebody be and how good can somebody be? Like, doesn't that mentally break you? Because he's still got human characteristics because he grew up with the Kents and how he was raised. So yeah, bro, it's deep. Absolutely deep.
Nah, you're dropping a lot of knowledge on me. Like, you talking about the creators, you're talking about Moses. Like, he's like Moses. I was like, oh, okay, I'm just trying to take it.
Just trying to break it down. It's like, honestly, like the character is far more deeper. I mean, it gets convoluted along the way.
Yeah, sure.
But it's science fiction. And I feel like people need to understand, like, imagination can be as wild as it wants to be. And if it can entertain you in that process, but even inspire you to create something later. Like, I've done characters. I've got loads of characters that have spun off different characters that I've read, like Wolverine or Superman or, you know, Batman or even Wonder Woman. You're like, oh my God, like, I found little things about the Amazonians, and I'm like, what can I do different with that? And you do character flips, and, you know, those are the inspirational characters. But then they're coming off biblical pages, bro. You know, whether it's Hinduism or Buddhism, it's coming from those. And people have read something in a chapter and be like, I got a superhero, man. And you're like, oh my God, for real. And you go back to the books and you're like, man, you guys stole it from the textures, man. So it's like, it's really, it's a deep mythology in comic books when it comes to, you know, caveman drawings to now we're getting, you know, motion comic books. We're getting
motion pictures now.
Motion pictures,
Well, you heard it here first, man. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Outtake Show, the show where we give outlandish opinions and reviews between the movie and TV world. This is episode 69. You got the host of the most in the building. Just Junes is here right now. Welcome. Unfortunately, Maz is not here at the moment. She's on a freelance job right now. She may pop in later on. We'll be yet to see if she does.
Late.
But nonetheless, we've got a guest in the building. This is someone that we wanted on here for a minute. He is a content creator, a storyteller, a artist, and most importantly, he is a dad. We've got Kibz in the building.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro. Honestly, always an honor to come on somebody else's show and I don't have to do no editing.
You know, that's
put
hilarious.
Me on the clouds, bro. Put me on the clouds. But I'm absolutely grateful, man. I have followed the journey in the past year, and I've loved what you guys have done. And you bring your own characters into this as well, which is always nice to see. So no, thank you so much for having me on, man.
No worries, man. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
Our main topic today is, of course, going to be about Superman. The James Gunn Superman is coming out this week. I believe it's July 11th.
Yes.
I'm super excited for this film coming out. I'm a huge fan of James Gunn. I know there's a lot of mixed reviews about what they think this Superman's going to be.
Okay.
Obviously, from talking to you just before doing the intro, or even off camera,
Yeah.
we've got more of an understanding how much of a fan you are of Superman.
Yes.
Of course, yourself and even Maz went to a fan event.
Yes, that's
later
right.
this week where you guys got to see. Was it an interview? Well, what
So they
happened
did
at
a
the fan event?
Q&A with the talent, and then they showed us like 30 minutes of the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so big chunk of the film. Yeah, you know how exciting it is when you're there, when the talent's there as well, and you know you got these good-looking people up in the front. You're like, oh man, well, bro, why are you looking so good, bro? Allow it, please.
Yeah.
When Nicholas Hoult walked in, my sister, I was like, oh.
And he's
I don't.
got his hair dyed
Yeah,
now.
yeah, he's
isn't
got
it?
the hair dyed. I think he's on another role at the moment, something else. But
Yeah.
then David Corenswet came in, and you thinking he's gonna bring the Esco in, bro?
Yeah.
My guy got like a low.
Yeah,
cut,
he's got a buzz cut as well.
Yeah, the buzz cut. He
probably
took it off.
Probably in for another film as well.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised. Great experience. I mean, James Gunn, bro. What he did with like Guardians of the Galaxy,
Amazing.
he bought characters that nobody knew about.
Yeah, or cared about.
The fact that he picked out that comic book and said, "I'm gonna direct that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna direct that." These are characters that actually in the comic books weren't put together. Like Gamora wasn't part of it. Peter Quill was in it later on, but they had people like Captain America 27, bro.
Oh,
In the original, if
the
you-
original
bro, in
Guardians.
the original comic,
Oh.
there was like a Captain America 27 in there. some
27.
some next people, bro. If you Google it, you'll see the images.
yeah.
You'll be like, no, that's not
That's
Guardians.
not Guardians of
But
the
what
Galaxy.
he's done was amazing. Is that he's picked out the specific characters
Yeah.
that did eventually end up becoming the Guardians of the Galaxy. But that's later on.
Yeah.
I think everything changed from when James Gunn did that.
Yeah.
But he understood the source material. He's the only director that I know that has this passion and love for the source material,
Yeah, 100%.
the creators, the writers, and bro, he gave us one of the best Marvel movies, you know, that there is. Like, there's 1 and 3 are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, probably arguably maybe one of the best trilogies in the Marvel.
Yes, that's right. You know
People
what?
are
You're
kind of
right.
skeptical about
You know-
2, but like,
Yeah, but you're
it's
right.
good enough the whole way as a trilogy.
You know what? I agree with you because all the other trilogies we got, it was like up and down. You're
Yeah.
right. James Gunn's trilogy, and the way he ended it as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
So with the Q&A that so we had a personal Q&A after,
Oh, sick.
and he was like saying, you know, I was lucky enough to end those characters without the studio interfering.
Oh, nice.
And studio interference is such a big thing. So, but he was like, you know, we already had a bit of beef, and they took me off, and then
Yeah.
they
Oh,
brought me
yeah,
back,
I
and then
remember
he
that
did the
happening.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But some of this, like at the main event, like his passion for creators, the source material of the comic books, he loves, bro.
Yeah.
Like he knows his knowledge. Like I could go up to him and ask him, like, you know, do you remember what happened in this issue? And he'd actually pull it out from his head, bro.
Oh, sick.
So like very.
Yeah, because
yeah,
Maz was
great.
telling me she sent me some clips from
Yeah.
the actual event, and also I've seen some of his press tours when he was doing some interviews. He has like there's a DC podcast he was on with
Yes.
frankly, I can't remember her name, sorry, but she's a bunch of other content
Yes,
creators
that's right,
as well
yeah.
in the movie world. And where he was just talking about it, you can tell that he's super passionate about the character. And from the clips that Maz was sending me, he's also trying to make sure that there's a lot of Easter eggs relating to the comics.
Yes, definitely.
So
definitely.
like roads are named after some of the
All
comic
artists,
artists as well,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is giving homage to all them as well. Like all the characters, all the Easter eggs, all like the businesses that's run by actually stuff that relates to the comics. So
Yeah.
that's why I was kind of like weirded out by people like having such a negative look into James Gunn doing it, thinking that James Gunn shouldn't do Superman. As someone that's a huge fan of Superman, do you think James Gunn is somewhat the best person to be directing a Superman
Yes.
movie?
Yes, definitely. I'm gonna say yes to that because look what he's done so far. He hasn't failed in anything he's done. I think
Yeah,
all the way
yeah.
from his like when he wrote Scooby Doo,
Yeah.
to all of his kind of weird horror movies. They've actually been all good films.
He did like a negative Superman movie.
Yeah, it was called
Burn
Super.
Out- Yeah.
Where he was like,
Yeah, Super. Yeah, I remember
I
Super
can't remember
as
the
well.
guy. Is it Dwight from Office?
Yeah, from Office. Yeah.
So like his writing skills, his comedic timing, his script writing is like on point.
Yeah.
And like I was lucky enough to interview him for Peacemaker a couple of
Nice.
years ago, and I was asking him about his writing process because his script writing is on point. Like,
Yeah.
everybody that's acting is not improv or anything. He's wrote that down, bro.
Oh, sick.
So like he's got an imagination of what it would be like for an actor as well.
Yeah.
He's been in the industry for such a long time.
Yeah.
and my faith was that he knows comic books.
Yeah.
And he knows what a comic book fan would want, but he knows how to introduce it to new people.
Yeah.
And that's what he did with Guardians, bro. Because who would have fallen in love with a tree and a raccoon, bro?
Yeah, literally.
I cried for a raccoon.
Yeah.
I cried for a raccoon. How?
At this one moment when this film came out, everyone's like, you know what? We need to protect the animals.
Yeah.
Like keep animals safe.
100%.
That was a Peter. What was it? Peter?
Yeah.
Peter campaign.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, like he knows, bro. Just his passion behind it and what he'd done with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And even when he jumped over to DC to do the Suicide Squad.
He did a better one than...
I'm like...
Yeah.
What? David Ayer, I hope he gets his cut, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I hope he gets his cut. Because that was a studio mess, bro.
But what... Because I see some people saying that we should get a cut. But was it like... Do you think the cut will change significantly what the film
I think David Ayer is actually a great director, bro.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with him, to be fair.
I've got some of my favourite films are from him. So he did Fury with Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf.
I did like that.
And then
film.
he did...
I really like that film.
That's a good film.
He did that and then Suicide Squad.
Yeah. And he did End of Watch with Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena, where they're cops, but it was done on GoPros. Bro, that movie is hard.
That was so good.
And
great
that's when
ending
I
as
fell
well.
in love with his work. And then he did Bright, which was on Netflix with Will Smith and...
that was him.
And it was like a fantasy.
I wasn't too mad at that film, you know. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I actually enjoyed the concept. The concept was great.
I watched it twice in the same day, bro.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys where if I really enjoy it, I want to see it again. And I thought he bought the concept because he likes to do like real world stuff.
Yeah.
And what he did with End of Watch and Fury Road was like real world gritty stuff, and he turned that into fantasy. And I think with Suicide Squad, what they wanted was a Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And because DC and Warner Brothers had some poor management and were in such a rush, they threw this movie out there with what they edited, and not give out his cut, which I feel is bad for the creator.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's elements of the film I think does work, but then it's the convoluted stuff where it like, oh man, like this is just cut up like a trailer.
Yeah.
Like what's going on? So, and James, I think he stood his ground. He didn't want that to happen with the Guardians of the Galaxy because we saw what happened to Iron Man 2 and some of the other movies that came out after. You're like, excuse me, studio, please don't touch it. Don't it's like, let the creative do what he wants to do because he believes in that vision. Yeah. And for me, everything he's done, everything he's said, and to be honest, he's got a proven track record, bro.
That's what was my main argument. It's like there were a lot of people like, I think what happened is now that Superman's in another hands and people are reflecting back to Zack Snyder and thinking about what he did with Superman and how Superman was, let's say, more gritty and more dark. Now we've got this Superman that's a lot more colourful. I think people that don't really know too much about Superman are like, why is he this bubbly guy opposed to this dark one that we had before, or just preferred him being this dark tone than what I believe that this Superman again is going to be more of a friendly, more spoken as well. I think we're going to get a Superman that actually talks more.
Dialogue. See, that's what James is good at, dialogue. Yeah. And even in all of his movies, you listen to his dialogue, bro, and the back and forth that he does. I mean, Drax and Peter Quill. Yeah. Some of their interactions are hilarious. You're like, that's off script, bro. That's got to be off script. No, I wrote that to the T. Yeah. You know, so I'm glad we're getting somebody that we're going to get to know more of Superman as well.
But maybe than ever before on the big screen
on the big screen, definitely, bro. But I feel like contrast in movie making is the same as when you're writing a book or doing a comic book. Yeah, we're gonna have the main linear story. Action Comics goes up to issue 1000. No, actually more than that anyway now. So that's a different part of the. And the same thing with Marvel. It's like the 616, and you've got all of these different universes and pocket universes. Yeah. We have Elseworld stories. Yeah. So that's why Batman works so well. Yeah. It's an Elseworld story. Like DC have Elseworld stories, which I think are the best. I think people need to know that you could take a character and flip it. And I think that's what Zack Snyder did. But what Zack Snyder was trying to show us there was that we can have a bit of a grittier Superman, but let's share the journey because we only got the beginning. Yeah. We didn't really get him to finish the rest of the story. Yeah, and I feel like when we got the 4-hour cut Justice League, I was like, he's growing and we could get that hopeful Superman that we're looking for. Yeah. But there's a journey, and Clark has had that journey throughout his life. Like, there's dark times. The guy gets depressed still. Yeah. He's still got human emotions. Yeah. And I felt like it was a great Elseworld story. It's a beginning of an immigrant coming to this world to try and be good. But listen, man, when you've got superpowers, shit's gonna get messed up.
Yeah.
You know, Dragon Ball Z is like a pure example of that. That's why they go to other worlds to have those big battles. You know what I mean? It's not happening on Earth. They're going to teleporting somewhere else. They're gonna bust up another planet. We're gonna get that on Earth. I mean, if we had super beings here, bro, it'd be a mess, bro.
I think it'll be like The Boys.
Yeah, bro, and that's the grounded reality show where it would be like that, and you've got corporations and governments getting involved. Here's a guy who doesn't want to get involved in none of that.
Yeah.
Superman, and I think that's what Zack Snyder wanted to do, and that the darker tone worked at that time because we had the Dark Knight come out. Yeah. So everything suddenly you see the colors toned down and stripped away. Yeah. And the world got darker as well in the process, bro. Yeah. So it's like, I've always seen Superman as that character of hope and kindness. Yeah. He always has been, no matter what battle. He doesn't go into a fight to win. He doesn't go into a fight to win. He goes into the fight just to say that I'm here. Yeah. And I want you to be better, and I'm not here to bust you up for no reason. Like, I know there's always good in people. It's just the situations. Yeah. And there's no good guys, no bad guys to him. He's treating everybody exactly with the same respect. If I'm going to come to the table with value, I'm hoping you guys come with the same value as well. Yeah. And then we can work together on something. Yeah. But some people, like Lex, he just a maniacal maniac jealous because this guy's got these superhuman abilities. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, he's on the wrong path, but he's doing it for humanity because he's so upset.
That's what I think.
Like tyrants are, bro.
When they get a really good villain that's like has like the right mindset, but his way he's gone about it is way off.
Exactly.
That's why I'm kind of I'm quite excited for this film. Like I love James Gunn. Like we said, like his track record is proof itself that he's capable of doing this. Also, he's got a lot of comic background knowledge that I think this film's gonna really please the people that were huge fans of the comic books.
I hope it does, because the clips we saw, I had a tear in my eye, bro, because I was like, you know, the one thing I love about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I didn't love Phase 1, was I understood more movie making and what it was like to adapt something from a comic book page to the big screen. And how you have to adapt it to your audience as well. Making sure that it's not too convoluted so that they understand what's going on. And I think what he's done to this was, like, he's brought these characters in, and he's brought some really cool characters. I mean, Guy Gardner, bro, that bowl cut, like, in the comic books, it's exactly the same. And you're like, why did you do that for? But it made me laugh and chuckle, because I was like, that's exactly the same as it was in the comic book. So he's honoured the creators, the comic books, but he's put his own twist to it. Yeah. And anybody can put their own twist to anything. There's no limits to that, because then at least you can have that creative freedom, I think. But from what I saw, it gave me a tear in my eye. We've got like a really hopeful, kind Superman on the big screen, and some hard hitting stuff, bro. In that 30 minutes they showed. Yeah,
was it chopped up, or was it like?
I definitely think it was chopped up. Yeah. Definitely chopped up, because I felt like, because you know when you're watching something, you're like, oh, no.
That's not.
I hope that's not like the film. It's got to be chopped up. Yeah. And when we did the Q&A the other day, that was one of my questions. Yeah. I was like, so we saw the 30 minutes of the clip. Is that like linear? And he was like, no, we can't give you all of that shit away for free. For free? No, you're gonna have to wait for that. July 11th. July so 11th. Good on him, like, for answering that. And Peter Safran was there, who's the co-CEO for DC Studios and producer of Superman, and he was cracking up, bro. And I was like, because I sat there and I was like, yes, I love everything, but you know, there's section missing. Is that on purpose? It's like, of course it's on purpose. We don't want to give away like the main plot. You know, spoilers. Like, we live in a stream now where there's spoilers everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you know, clickbait. People want to just clickbait on everything. So it's like, what do we do to try and keep the audience interacted? Which they did, because they gave us a 10-minute dialogue between Clark and Lois, bro.
Oh, sick.
And to be honest, you don't get that unless it's in a comic book. Because what most action movies or that sort of blockbuster movie would do to us is just action. Let's break some arms, blow this up, and like really get you lost in the action, which is sometimes great. But sometimes it's like, oh, come on, man, you're just brain numbing me now, right now. Because sometimes I do go to the cinema to be like, take me away, man.
Literally.
Take me away. Like, I don't do no drink, no drugs.
Some good dialogue.
This is like good dialogue that like. quotes, man. I love some quotes, and they drop some in this, and it's like, oh my god, like it was really good, bro. I'm excited. Like I've been excited for the past 2 years since I found out.
Yeah.
And as soon as I found out James was writing it, I was like, this is gonna be sick.
Yeah.
When he announced that he's now CEO and he's gonna direct it, I was like, they couldn't have picked anybody else better.
Yeah.
For that character, because Superman's an up and down character. He's way too big. I mean, there's not one country you go to and nobody knows what the S means.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's such a big, he needs that big entrance, and I think this is the beginning of that.
The beginning of that.
Yeah.
Fair. Oh yeah, I've written down a bunch of questions on here. I think we already written down, we already spoke about James Gunn. Is he the right person to direct Superman? I guess we're both in agreement that he will be.
Yes.
I had a hot take question, just talking about Crypto, which is the dog in the film.
Yes.
Do you think he's going to steal the show in Superman?
In the clips we got, yeah, man, he will. He will.
He will just be like,
because I love animals. I love animals,
yeah.
and like, you know, getting to see something like that. I mean, he came in the comic books in an issue, Superboy. I can't remember which issue it was.
Oh, he came very later on then.
Yeah, very later on, 1965. No, I think it was like late 60s. He came into the comic books, but such a great character, but never been portrayed well on the screen. Yeah. In the cartoons and everything, it's popped in, but it's not.
Has he been on the screen? On the screen?
I'm trying to remember.
Maybe on the.
I feel like it was Smallville.
Maybe.
I feel like it was Smallville, but I know he's been on there. I think they did the Superboy TV show, and I think he came on that.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But from my knowledge, I'm trying to remember. But it's a great character in the books. Really and truly, Superboy introduced Crypto, and in Supergirl you get a lot of Crypto in the comic books.
Yeah, we do have a Supergirl film coming out there.
It's interesting that they've popped it into this movie.
Yeah.
But he's an animal lover.
Yeah, so he's gonna add his.
He did that with Groot and Rocket Raccoon, bro.
Yeah.
And to this day, like, I'm still buying plushes for my girls of those characters. So Crypto, I've added that to the collection now.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's gonna be a great. It's that joyful thing when you get it on the screen. Like when you see a character that come on the screen that makes you smile. That's what Crypto does for this movie.
My only fear is I don't want to get too much Crypto.
I think so. In the clips that we saw, he probably had like 5 minutes screen time.
Okay.
And that was 30 minutes. So
yeah.
He'll be like a prominent character in there.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be too much. He knows how to balance things.
That's another thing.
He's good with balance.
Especially with a lot of characters. It was a huge fear that people felt like there was too much characters, too much superheroes in this film.
That was me last year when they announced all, like, you know, Guy Gardner, Orville, and everybody else, Mr. Terrific. And I was like, Mr. Terrific is such a specific character, bro.
Yeah.
This guy is like the G in the DC world, bro.
Yeah.
Genius, tech guy. He's actually amazing in the comic book. So I'm like, how are they going to do this on the screen? Bro, when he pops up, I'm like, give me that jacket, man. I want that jacket. Give me those kicks. I want those kicks. Like, he looks the part. He's embodied him so well. And we get some really good character moments in that. And I'm like, he knows how to level out the characters. Yeah. And we got Guardians of the Galaxy and we love all of them.
Yeah. And
so if you can still do that for me with these, go for it, man.
Yeah, that's why I think he's the perfect guy to do, like, build the universe, because he knows how to do multiple characters.
That's right.
And let them all have their own screen time. Let them talk with other characters, interact. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have one last note just talking about Superman.
Yeah.
So there's a movie content creator called Supes.
Yes.
He's heavily involved in the marketing for Superman. So I've seen him in a lot of the TikTok videos. Mostly the TikTok videos. I think he's doing some hosting stuff with them as well.
That's right, yeah.
I just want to see your thoughts of like having like movie content creators involved in movie marketing in this type of fashion.
What a great opportunity, right? What a great opportunity. My guy getting flying around the world and jumping. He's probably seen the film like 3 times or 4 times. Like the same clip. I think we're at a time now where if you can get involved in something like that, I think it's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a, I would say for me, it would be such an honor and privilege to be there.
Yeah.
The fact that they're flying me around, I'm in hotels, it's like, bro, who would have thought that 10 years ago?
For real, that's true.
Who would have thought that 10 years ago that a fan can be involved in marketing?
Yeah.
Probably had a sneak. He probably was on the set of the film.
Yeah,
a lot of people on the set.
He wasn't behind the scenes stuff as well.
a cameo in a film, bro.
Imagine you got a cameo in the film.
A cameo in the film, you're like... That's...
If you got to be a cameo in Superman, what do you think you want to be like your little line? If you had to say a sentence.
It's a hard one because I feel like I'll be the falafel guy at the store.
Oh man, not the fluff.
But like, Superman, here's the falafel. No. If it is, it'd be. I don't know why. It would be one of those funny ones that either, like, I wouldn't be hurt in one some sort of way. If it's me like falling from a building or something.
You want Superman to save you?
No.
Oh.
It'd be like, oh shit, I missed him.
Oh
like
shit.
one of those moments. Like I want one of those funny moments. Yeah. Damn, I missed him. But it'd be like, you know.
You don't be the guy in the trailer that lifts up Superman when he's on the ground. It's like, come on, Superman, get up. Thank you.
It would be. It'd be. I think. The thing is, I've been lucky enough to be in like 2 films.
Oh, sick.
And have my like 2 seconds of like big screen time.
Yeah.
And that was like when I did some extra work back in the day. And I never pursued my acting career because it was something that was very difficult from the culture I came from, and they didn't really see it as something. I think I've always wanted it.
Yeah.
But getting those 2 seconds on the screen, I would, bro, anything, bro.
Yeah.
And if it was a Superman movie, it'd be either like, you know, is that a plane? Or like, you know, something like, you know, something like cheesy, bro.
The way you know that so easily. It's like you had that list.
Like it's like, it would be a cheesy moment. I'd always want a cheesy moment because I feel like those cheesy moments are the ones that people are going to remember the most. And be like, I want to be that guy. Because I remember I was on a short movie called Bubble. And I was the production manager. So I was just making sure everything runs right.
Yeah.
But one of the actors didn't turn up.
Yeah.
And they were like, Kibz, you're the only guy with a beard. And I'm like, oh, allow it, bros, please.
Yeah.
And like, there's a reason why I got a beard. It's because we've been shooting for 2 weeks. I ain't had the time to shave. But the character they put me as was like this meme guy that I had to do this Samuel L. Jackson because they put an eye patch on me as well. Yeah. So they were like, you got to give some Samuel L. Jackson. I'm like, Samuel L. Jackson, like, what am I doing? So basically, this guy's like chatting up this other girl at the bus stop. She's getting annoyed. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? Stop it. But I got an eye patch on, which scares the guy, and he like freaks out. But ever since then, it was like, I want moments like that.
Yeah.
And then there was another movie called Legacy, where it's a bunch of kids trying to they get turf from a club because they're too young. They end up running their own rave in East London.
Oh, sick.
I'm trying to remember the actor's name. I had a scene. It was in Pinewood Studios. It was in their kitchen.
Nice.
And I was like, perfect. I'm the waiter guy, right? Anyway, doesn't matter. Stereotypical. It's fine. Yeah. They even had one of my hairs at the back standing up like one of the guys in the restaurant. And I was like, oh, this is deep. And I'm just like, it was like a moment where he's going through a montage. He's trying to make money to do the put the club together with his friends. Yeah. And he's washing dishes in a restaurant. And I'm like, bro, you're washing it wrong. What you doing, bro? You're using the wrong scupper. He was in Legends of Tomorrow, and he was in Kid Outtake with John Boyega. Light-skinned brother. Oh, what's his name again?
Kid Outtake.
He played the guy who merges with somebody else and becomes this fire guy. Legends of Tomorrow. Oh my God, how can I forget that?
Wait, I think I know what you're talking about. I'm going to find him.
But even he was in Attack of the Block.
Yeah. Attack of the Block is the alien one.
Yes.
I think you know what you're talking about.
And he was Thing's best friend. Well, they called him Moses in that as well. John Boyega's best friend.
Oh, I can't find him. Where is he?
Oh, there you go, Friends. There you go.
Oh, that's it.
Friends Dharma, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So he looks way different now.
Yeah.
He's older now.
He's grown.
He's grown.
He's grown. But yeah, like it would be one of those scenes, dude. Definitely, it would be a silly scene. I like comedy, so it'd be a silly scene for me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like right now, I'm seeing more and more movie content creators involved in the marketing,
which is amazing.
We had Supes. There's a guy named Straw Hat Goofy. He was heavily involved in Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Marketing campaign. So I can see this being more of a recurring thing where you get movie content creators involved, which is great because I think it's still happening right now, where it's like the movie content creators are like upset that they're just getting content creators opposed to getting people that kind of more in the niche. I have mixed thoughts about it, but it's like, yeah, I think I like the direction they're going.
I'm gonna be positive about this. I think it's a great opportunity, bro. I do it for free, bro, because I love creativity and I love the industry so much. I know they're getting paid, but they've got the views, they've got the millions, they've got. If you think about it in a marketing perspective,
that's
bro, that is free marketing all day long. Bro. If my guy is getting minimum 1 mil views, well, it's more than that, probably 2-3 mil. then why not work with them? Because you're not just you're paying for marketing anyway, which you're going to push out, but then you're getting all of these creators that are given the opportunity to do it because they're already, I mean, I'd be excited, but they're getting marketing out of it. There's always a motive behind all of it. But as a fan, I mean, seeing Supes do something that he loves, I personally don't like his content. Yeah, I personally, bro. When I saw him pop up, I was like, nah, guy, like I don't want this on my algorithm, bro. Like, move. But, bro, props to him. Props to him. Straw Hat Goofy as well. Like, I did like his stuff at the beginning. The stuff he does now.
I have mixed thoughts on him as well.
Yeah, the stuff he does now, but the way he digs at other creators.
Oh my gosh, I'm not a fan of.
Because he's
doing it too much when he's up here and he's doing it to people that are like down here as well.
British guy as well.
Yeah, it's like, you're like,
how did we get to this?
Why are you even like doing this?
Yeah, why did we get to this? Yeah. Now, I know everybody's going to have their own opinions, but like that's why I don't follow those guys because I feel like they lost their passion along the way.
Yeah.
And you could clearly see that on their timeline.
Yeah.
I've gone through it, bro.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I suffer imposter syndrome so badly.
Yeah.
That I look back at my content and say, oh, Kibz, man, that's not you, bros.
Yeah.
Like, and I always get back to trying to be authentic in what I do. And I hope everybody has their own journey.
Yeah.
And I can't fault nobody.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be excited? And why wouldn't you change? You give me £1 million, bro, shit. Everything changes, and that's the reality of it. And like we're persuaded so quickly now in different ways, and they can persuade millions.
Yeah,
the movie could be rubbish.
That's the scary thing that I'm seeing now, because they're heavily involved in the marketing. What would they can't really say anything.
It's hard because they're getting paid as well.
Yeah, too much about the film. They can't if they don't like the film. What can you say? I mean, I guess there's a way to go about it, but then like you wouldn't want to say anything negative about it.
No, you can't. It's a difficult one because you do want to keep these relationships. You still want to get paid at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity to work with studios, but there needs to be some sort of level of authenticity in what you do. And even when it comes to the contract signing, it's like, look, like, I don't want to, like, for me personally, where I am right now, I can't be this fake guy, man.
Yeah.
I can't say this. And then I'm saying it maybe because I'm going to lose the opportunity, but opportunity is going to come and go. And I've learned that in this industry, with the toxicity that happens, I'm just going to be me. I'm going to be me. But I praise them because it's still hard work, bro.
Yeah, that's
it's still
thing.
hard
like,
work.
You still have to put it out.
Yeah.
They definitely put in the work to get where they are.
Exactly.
But then it's like how they go about it. It's not maybe.
Yeah.
Everyone's different, I guess.
Everybody's going to be different about that, bro. It's so difficult. Like that's why my brother tells me, post and ghost. And don't look at the numbers.
Yeah, don't look at the numbers.
Yeah, don't look at them because that's where it bogs you down as a creator and you think, oh, everybody's getting these amazing big opportunities, but it's not. You treat other people with the same respect, they'll remember you for that and say, you know what, hold up. I spoke to Kibz a few days ago at the event. He took his time out to come look for me, say hello, and give me like a bottle of wine or a chocolate or something like that. And made me, I'm not just an email person.
Yeah. I feel like now we're kind of changing topic now, but now we're getting into the content side of things.
Yes.
Obviously, you've been doing content creating for quite a while now, so
I'm old.
we love.
I'm old.
You know what's funny? I had Stephen Geekface. Shout out to Stephen Geekface on here. I said the same thing. It was like, oh, okay, bro, you have to mention my age. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. My bad. Sorry. Shout out to the friend of the show. But I'd love to just hear about your journey and how it came from starting to how things are going now.
Man, we're going back to probably 15 years ago when like Facebook started popping off.
Oh, really?
That's where I originally started, Facebook. Yeah. So, and that was for my art stuff. So, I used to just post my drawings up on there, and I was like, oh wow, it's like people actually really like these artworks. And I felt like I was a better artist when I was like 15 than I am now.
Really?
I'm not going to expose the age, but people will be like, this guy's a mutant.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I feel like I had. Because I feel like at that age, your imagination is a bit more free. You don't have the stresses of life like now.
That's what you mean,
So it's weird because creativity has its longevity, bro.
Yeah.
If you the way I see it now, and like we have too much information coming in.
Yeah.
Whether it's our mobile phones, laptop, and it clouds a lot of things, and then you've got it doesn't look as good as this, and you're comparing to other people and other work, and you're like. as a creative, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You're just drawing.
Drawing.
Or creating. You're just creating. And I think that was the most important part. During that time, even though I was posting it, some of the sketches were like just sketches. I was just learning again.
Yeah.
And that was 15 years ago. And then I jumped on Instagram probably 10 years ago. And then I started posting on there. That's when the opportunities started to come in.
Okay.
Because I used to run a toy company called League of Seven, and I used to sell hot toys.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so I used to go to Comic-Cons, and we used
sick.
to have stores
Nice.
and stuff like that. So me and my friends, we started a business, and we started selling that. And then it started growing.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking to people at Comic-Cons and like how much they love collecting. I used to sell my artwork at Comic-Cons as well.
Nice.
And it was great to connect with other artists, and like, I didn't realize, you know, MCM started growing so big that they started having comic book creators from the States and from like Asia and everything coming in, and I'm like, wow, they've got my favorite comic book artist there, and I didn't even know, like, they didn't even advertise this.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around Comic Con, and I think I met Bob Layton, who's the co-creator of Iron Man.
Oh, sick.
Bro, this guy's just sitting there in a booth by himself,
chilling, and no one knows.
and I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
That is Bob Layton there. This is like Stan Lee's best friend. This guy co-created Iron Man.
Yeah.
Bro, I left my boys at the stand. I was with him the whole day.
Yeah.
And we talked about artwork, and he gave me so much advice, man. And then ever since then, I caught the buzz for Comic-Cons as well.
Yeah.
So I went to meet all my favorite artists and just have conversations and to expand as an artist myself. And then they were like, you guys have got a great platform now, and just use them.
Yeah.
And you won't be surprised like who's watching.
Yeah.
And I was drawing, and I met a nice little community of like comic book creators that liked my artwork, and then we meet up at Comic-Cons, and then, you know, you get that one email out of nowhere, and it's like, hi, my name's somebody from WB, we'd love to have you at the screening, or I was like,
sick.
excuse me? And it kind of just buckled into there.
Yeah.
I'm an artist, I draw, that's all I did.
Yeah.
Shared some really cool moments. I did music videos back in the days and stuff like that. You know, I shared some of my old music videos. Even some of my old music.
Oh, you do music as well?
Used to. I wouldn't do it no more.
Wait, you trying to skip past that?
I wouldn't do it no more. It was good. But I grew up around these amazing artists. Like, you know, Archer is one of my best friends, but he was in a crew called the One Crew, which was with Sway and Pirelli and all these guys.
Yeah.
And there was like a community of music at that time, and I loved hip hop and UK grime and UK hip hop, and I was with that crowd, and I did videos and photography. I went traveling with them.
Nice.
So I did a mixed bag of stuff, but then it slowly came into my brother. The reason why we started the podcast and we got more opportunities was my brother, I think it was 10 or 11 years ago, decided that he's going to move out of the UK and move to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
He's a martial artist himself, and we're a close-knit family. That's one thing that my dad taught us, was to stick together, because him and his brothers, they never stuck together.
Yeah.
He goes, all I want from you guys, I don't care how much you hate each other, I want unity.
Yeah.
And he did it. He succeeded. When my brother moved to Hong Kong, you know, we're calling every day, and luckily we had WhatsApp back then.
Yeah.
And then we called every day. We did Skype, and then it went to like weekly, monthly, every 2 months. And then you lose distance, and that happens with any type of relationship.
Yeah, of course.
A distance does cause a bit of friction and time, and you end up that person just fading in the background.
Yeah.
And my brother's a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast, not at the moment now. But he was. That was the inspiration of why we started. He was like, bro, I think Avengers Infinity War had come out. I just did a reaction, and I used to pop stuff on YouTube, my artwork on YouTube. I did YouTube tutorials for people.
Oh, sick.
And then I did reactions on there.
Yeah.
And I was doing all the Marvel stuff and other movies.
Reacting movies and stuff like that.
And I was doing that, and we weren't reviewing them. And then one day we did Infinity War, and he was like, bro, why don't we do this on a weekly basis? We're already talking. I get to find out what the family's up to, but we could talk about what we've seen.
Oh, sick.
And then we did that first episode, and it was like, oh, wow, this actually did really good.
Yeah.
And that was 9 years ago.
Yeah, and
the podcast. And from there, it just grew. And we did it over Skype. Then now we've moved over to Zoom. Whenever he comes back home, we always do it in person as well.
Yeah.
And it just grew. And then we realized that we were getting contacted by, like, you know, tech companies to use their products on the podcast, like Logitech. Sick. And then, you know, you had these brand partnerships, and you lose them, and new things come up, but opportunities for movies came up, and it was like, we love pop culture.
Yeah.
And now we're getting approached by these PR companies to say, oh, come check out this movie, the screenings this week, and it's not out for another week. And we were like, oh my God, this is a privilege, man.
Yeah,
what an honor to see a film before it even comes out and to review it as well.
Yeah.
And we started doing little reviews by them, but it was mostly based on comic books and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC stuff. And over the past couple of years, it's grown into men's mental health and being a dad and him traveling and going through the stuff he's gone through in the different countries he's lived in. The podcast has been from Hong Kong, Thailand, all over the world, bro. And he travels. He's never come back. He just moved to Dubai like 2 years ago, and he's settling down. He got married.
Nice, congrats.
And he's closer to home, so he comes here like every 6 months now.
Oh, nice.
So, and we still love doing the podcast. A lot has changed, but that's what grew into. Wow, people are actually listening and engaging and hearing our thoughts. And it's not even that, our communities, bro. Like, you're building communities, right? Yeah, literally. When somebody sees someone like you there, you're like, oh my God, this has changed. Like, they're there. Yeah. This is amazing. I'm going to follow them. Yeah. I'm going to speak to them. Yeah. And I think engaging with the audience is what made us grow quite big. And then we had a moment where it dipped, 2 years ago. We've got some craziness happening in the world at the moment. Yeah. We got shadow banned. And that was when I started I think 3 years ago I started social media. So we were pushing it out more. We only did YouTube. We're on Spotify and Amazon and Apple Podcasts now, but we had like seriously tanked. Yeah. And it was like coming to a point where I'm telling him, bro, we're still doing this and we're only getting like 5 views, bro. Yeah. I was like, he was like, he's always been the positive one out of us. He goes, bro, that's still 5 people we connected to.
Oh, that's it. That's a sick way, yeah.
Because you sit in a room of 100 people, it's going to be overwhelming. Yeah. But you still connected to 5 people. Yeah. And then, it went on to mental health, real world issues, and we still kept the pop culture element of movies, comics, and artwork and what we love. He's a martial artist, he's an amateur MMA fighter, so he popped that into there as well. So it's a mixed bag, really and truly. But we sectioned it out, so if people wanted to come and listen to MMA, they can go to that section. We always remind people, but... That's where it kind of just 2 brothers talking shit on a podcast just started, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
Really natural, really just us. There's some things I wish I could delete, but it is what it is. Things have been said, you get heated in a discussion. You say something and you're like, shit, I didn't mean to say that. And then, but people get to know you. Yeah. And I think being authentic is so important because social media can show you all the good stuff, bro. Yeah. But they don't show you the hardships that go with it as well. And I think that's what we try and put there as well. It's like, look, we get these amazing opportunities. Yeah. I am blessed for those opportunities. You don't know the sacrifices of, I need to get childcare, which costs money. Yeah. Making sure family's free. I'm jumping on trains, cars, all the rest of it. And trying to get to the place to have 2 hours of freedom and then back to getting the kids back up and the rest of it. And, it's exhausting to a point, but I love what I do, bro. Yeah. I, honest to God, love what I do, and I will continue to do it. And I think having my brother keeping me check and keeping me humbled, he's that guy. He's my guardian angel. Oh, sweet. Like, he always keeps me at bay. Like, when I'm stressed out or when I'm saying, oh, bro, this is overwhelming. Because I've had some issues where I feel like I shouldn't be at those places. Yeah. But he always brings me down. He was like, remember why we started this? Yeah. It's because we love it. Yeah. You've got to see that. Don't look at the numbers. Don't look at this. Don't look at the comments.
It's hard.
Enjoy it. And I said to him, it's really hard, bro, because I'm the manager. I'm looking after it. I'm just seeing this come through, bro. Look at the feed. Yeah. But he goes, just take the positive part of it. Like, we're 2 kids from Tottenham doing some crazy shit.
Yeah. Like, he was bungee jumping from a building to another building.
Bro, zip line?
You Superman.
Oh, my God.
You Superman for a minute. You flew. How was it like flying?
Amazing, bro. Did you watch F1?
Yeah, I watched F1, yeah.
Okay, so Sunny has this moment where she asks the reason why.
Why he does it, yeah.
Why do you do this? Yeah. Okay, so my reason of doing that jump, because I'm scared of everything heights, bro.
Oh, shit.
I was like sweating, and I remember the person asking, Tasmin's her name, bless her. I said, ladies first, and she was like, fuck you, Kibz, you're going first. So I was like sweating, and I remember the guy was like telling me, like, it's cool, we're gonna do all the safety checks, bro. I'm short already, bro. Yeah. The guy clipped, like, goes. I've heard like we had 3 clips, that goes on this magnetic wheel that goes on the zip wire, and it's controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm short already, and he's like, we got to lift the last one because you're short. So you're going to be levitating before you come off. And I'm like, oh my God.
Shit.
And he lifted me up. But he was like, that's it. You're fine. You'll be all right. And he said to me, nice kicks, bro. And then let go of me, bro. So my mind was somewhere else in that moment.
Yeah.
But where Sonny had that thing where he said that there's a moment of peace.
Yeah.
And everything is so small around me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And bro, it was an amazing moment, bro, and I don't think I'll ever forget it. Like, my kids are like my main thing, but that moment there, I had a moment of peace, bro. Everything felt so small. I was stressing, I've got anxiety, and everything left me in that minute.
That's beautiful. There's a moment of like silence. Of just
bro,
like,
it was so chilled,
here.
and like, I was looking around, like, I did the first scream, and then after that, it was like, oh my God, this is actually beautiful, and like, I'm flying here.
Yeah.
Like literally, like the wind is in my face, and I felt like what Superman would felt like, bro. Which is crazy. Like I never would do like bungee jumping or I'm coming from an Asian background, bro. They like the cable's gonna snap or something's gonna happen, like something crazy. No, don't do this. Don't sign, bro. The NDA. If you read the NDA.
Oh, if you die, you die. It's on you.
Well, that's all I saw was Ivan Drago saying, if he dies, he dies. I still did it though.
Yeah.
Amazing, bro. Absolutely surreal feeling. Shout out to Warner Brothers for hooking me up, honestly.
That's sick,
like,
man.
I gotta say, like that, oh, what an experience.
And that's the moments you look back and go, yeah, that's what I've done all this work, and even though maybe the numbers are going up and down, but like you're still being recognized.
And I think
you made these
100%. It's that those opportunities still come up, and like when we've had screenings where like the movie's not coming out for a month or two, bro, where they want to get your reviews. I think what was it, Fight or Flight with Josh Hartnett?
Oh yeah,
when that came out, and like they used us in the marketing, and I thought it was a good fun action film. That's all. But I was like, man, this movie don't come out for like 2 months, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
and
they're asking my opinion about it, and I'm like, well, yeah, it works, it doesn't work, but I had a fun time.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I've come to a point now where it's like, I think people, we're chasing a pipe dream. And I think it's very difficult because it is an oversaturated market, and it's like, I swear, if you keep at it, you're consistent. Don't matter if it's up and down with the numbers. I'm telling you, you'll be noticed.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of movie content creators particularly fail, is when they're doing it for a good week and then they stop because they're not seeing the numbers they want to see, instead of like carry on doing it, but also like rejigging stuff, like this video did bad, maybe I could do the intro better, this and that. Instead, people are kind of like doing it for a week, and then they do it for a week and then expect to go to all these screenings and stuff like that.
It doesn't work like that.
They want the awards very quickly.
To be honest, you could have no followers and get to a screening if you're interested in film, if you're passionate about film.
Yeah,
bro, like it's just it's the opportunity is there. They've got a contact me button on every website.
Yeah.
Whether that don't work, you try the next one.
Yeah.
But there is there. You sometimes if you put the work in, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And as you said, consistency. My brother, he's like my dad, bro. Consistency. It's about showing up.
Yeah.
And with your own creativity, it's about showing up.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've done that. And having a team does really help, or a partner in crime.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
it keeps you in check, and it continues to do it. Because there's been days, bro, like, I don't want to do this, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired, man. I don't want to do this, man. I don't want to edit this, bro, no more. Like, I'm done. Like, and it's somebody saying, you know what? We've connected. We love it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that's amazing. Well, I mean, we get some wonderful messages from people, man. And that's what makes me keep going, because it is, my brother was right. It was that one connection. Yeah. Don't matter if you're getting 5 views. That one person message to say, listen, man, I was on hard substances, and I used to love all of this stuff, and listening to you guys talking about it has brought my passion back into comics and artwork and movies, and seeing life in a different way, because I heard two brothers talking shit on a podcast. And I'm,
that's the best moments.
And I'll continue doing that. And I think, regardless of, as you said, the numbers and the rest of it. And sometimes, yes, they do want the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna connect in a way where, look, the movie made me feel this way, or the comic book made me, or the book made me feel this way, and I'm just gonna stick to doing that.
Nice.
And be sharing that, and I'm happy with the opportunities that have come along, and there's been some opportunities that have been taken away, but I'm still gonna be persistent in what I do
during the ride
and enjoy it. That's the main thing. Because later on, paid gigs will come. Somebody will notice you and say, "Oh, did you want to be an extra in this movie, or did you want to do one of this?" Or they'll pick out on your editing skills and say, "Could you edit for this?" And then I've been headhunted for companies to do podcast videos for them and stuff like that.
Oh, sick.
So like just keep at it.
Yeah,
honestly, keep at it. Keep chugging along. Keep chugging along.
I just remember I did ask a question that we asked all our guests on the podcast here. What is your outtake?
I think Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern is an amazing movie.
For real?
Yeah. I knew I was going to get that. Somebody's going to get me. You guys come for me. I'm ready.
Wait.
I'm ready. Come for me. I'm ready.
I'm trying to process what you just actually said. I was like, I was going to... Wait, okay. Okay, let me take a minute. So you're saying it's a good film.
Yeah.
In totality, like it's a good, fun film. Or it's a good, fun film that you will watch again.
Yes, I still watch it.
Oh, shit. Wait.
It's one of those guilty pleasure movies, bro. Because it's like, it's so bad that it's good.
Okay, I see. But still.
But I still rate it, and I'll still defend it.
Well, you're defending the film as well?
Yes, bro.
Against people that were like, you shouldn't watch it again?
Yeah.
But why?
Even with Ryan Reynolds saying, it's a
it's a
joke. I still love the movie. I'll always comment and be like, I still love this movie.
Have you, I feel like because you like the film, have you found like the people that also like the film and like...
No, there's no community. I'm on my own on that one. I'm on my own on that one, bro.
I'm still trying to process what you just said now. So you... But why do you like the film?
It's fantasy, bro. Fantasy, bro.
Because it's fantasy.
It's fantasy,
no, but
bro.
I'm pretty sure there's fantasy films that you think is horrible, and this doesn't hit the box.
No, because I felt like they were brave when they made that movie. You're talking about CGI suits, bro. Okay, maybe not have been 100%.
That's crazy.
CGI suits, bro.
Crazy.
So it wasn't something that they had to put on and then green screen. They fully CGI'd that suit on him, man.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. For me, man, I think Mark Strong played an amazing Sinestro. Even though we didn't get much of him.
He did.
He looked the part, bro.
He did look the part.
He looked the part. And I love, like, the wackiness of the Green Lantern Corps and what they stand for, and like the comic books I absolutely adore. I personally, when he got casted as Hal Jordan, I was like, yes, this works, because I can see like the writers when they used to write like towards like the end of the 90s when they wrote about Green Lantern, you could see Ryan Reynolds' character in there. Yeah. Same thing with what Rob Liefeld did with Deadpool. He just mirrored it off Ryan Reynolds' character. I personally think it was a bold movie. Listen, it's not 100% perfect. I can agree with that.
Yeah,
but it's one of those movies that I still slap on. I laugh to. I find some scenes funny, but I think it was like, bro, could you imagine that movie would have been with Jack Black?
Wait, what? Jack Black?
They originally wrote a story for Green Lantern with Jack Black as Hal Jordan. So I'm happy I got Ryan Reynolds, bro. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. But it was one of those. I'm a spectacle guy, man. Like, going to the cinema and getting lost for an hour or two with the crazy world we live in anyway. That in that time when we heard we were getting a Green Lantern movie, I was over the moon. It's my go-to. It's like one of those go-to movies that I still watch where it's so bad, it's so good, but I can take the goodness from it.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, as I said, I go with feeling, bro.
Yeah.
Like, the dialogue's a bit, all over the place. Some of the CGI is a bit all over the place. But I was like, man, they're brave, man. I don't know about the problem that we have with, I think, with movies as well is that third act, just like, what the hell?
Yeah, the third act was...
But I'm a wacky science fiction comic book guy.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that you would actually read. So if you go back to, like, the Silver Age comic books between like, the mid-60s all the way up to the mid-70s.
Yeah.
Bro, they were wacky, bro. So you're like, oh, I can see where they got that from. And I think because I see it from each angle.
Fair.
And that's why I find it hard when people say it, but to be honest, I remember coming at that cinema, people clapping and excited and everything, because we could be we're misleaded.
Yeah, I think now it's a recurring joke to say
Yes.
the film's trash.
Yeah.
So I do agree on that part. I remember watching it and being like, I don't think I think it's trash as people let off, because I think people are just saying it because it's just group
Follow the
thought
crowd,
now.
innit? Follow the
thought
crowd,
now.
bro.
But I do remember watching it and being like, that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get it right next time. But there was no next time. So
Well, with DC Studios now,
I mean, yeah, we do have the
we've got
TV series.
Aaron and I can't remember the other actor's name, but he's playing an older Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
But Aaron taking on the role as Jon Stewart. I'm
looking forward to it.
Excited.
They said they're gonna give it a detective type of feel to it, which I think is gonna be incredible.
And there's been things like that in the comic books where that's why Matt Reeves did so well with Batman, bro.
Oh yes.
Because he gave us the detective.
Thank you. Yes.
You know, it's like that's what I want to see. That's what I read in the comic books is the detective. So like, you know, the Green Lantern Corps and the quadrants that they look after, they're police.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're really and truly,
they are
bro,
police.
this is going to be like True Detective.
Yeah, I think
level.
literally because HBO as well. That's
so
doing
like,
it as well.
I'm super excited. But that's my outtake, bro. I think Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds was awesome.
and I know I respect it.
Thank you, bro.
I respect it. I respect it. Well, Kibz, it's been a pleasure having you on.
No, thank
on
you
the
so
show.
much, bro. Honestly, absolute pleasure. Yeah, good fun, man. Good fun. Don't hurt me for my outtake, guys.
I don't think they'll hurt you. You'll definitely get a couple of laughing emotions, but they'll appreciate that. You know, someone has to like the film. You know,
It's gonna be me. I'm gonna get it. Make sure you collab me on that one.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Collabs all the way through. all the takes. Good, bad, in the mix.
Good. It was good. No, thank you for having me on again. It's always an honor to come onto somebody else's platform and talk about my passions as well. And it's time. So thank you for your time, bro.
No, honestly. Thank you. This has been in the making for a long time.
Yes, definitely.
It's great hearing your story and just hearing your passion for it as well. I feel like myself and even the audience will get like a lot of knowledge, mainly from the comic books, and get a lot of backstory about these characters and your points about the comic book characters related to like stuff in the Bible as well. That blew my mind. Like I have to look back into it as well. Like,
definitely. There's a deeper mythology to all of these characters, and they're taking off real life people from.
Yeah.
You know, and like it's crazy. Like you go through comic book history, and you'll see so much of our religion, our culture, and everything that they've taken and popped it into. Like, you know, it's amazing to see what a mind can do.
Yeah.
And to illiterate that into a comic book and then onto the big screen, bro. Like, we live in a time now. I'm so grateful for some of the stuff we get. I mean, even with like F1 coming out, bro.
Yeah,
you made me feel like what it feels like in an F1 car, bro.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You know, like I literally felt the bumps on the road and crazy. So like we're in a point now in movie magic at the moment now where we're getting to see some amazing stuff, and I'm happy I'm still here, bro.
Same.
I'm happy I'm still here. I'm grateful for it, and keep going to the cinemas, guys. Keep going to the cinemas, honestly.
On that note, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. This episode 69 of the Outtake Show. Myself, Yarman Junes, and we've got Kibz in the building as well. Until next time, peace.